Coffee is brewing, and you can meet our cats. These are two of the three cats in our household who are rescued from the street as kittens, and they live peacefully amongst three cats and two dogs, and lots of, I don't know, cousins or niece nephew dogs. My daughters have dogs as well. Coho is a cat who was rescued from the outdoors. In fact, he was found as a stray kitten, and he never goes outside. And yet, then there's Mason, who was also found outdoors. We rescued him from our yard, and Mason, as a kitten, came in to live with us as well. He chose us because he came to our yard. And Coho, well, he was hanging out at a gas station. Both of them were between 6 to 8 weeks old. And both of them ended up becoming very sick, or were already very sick when we adopted them, rescued them from the street. Both cats were true rescues directly from the outdoors. And they were not feral cats, though, because they're still kittens. And both of their mamas, well, we don't know much about their mamas, but they were not feral. I have found one cat outside that was maybe a couple months old, probably 3 months old, and that cat was definitely feral. We tried to tame him down. This was a long time ago when I was right out of college, and we had to give him to a single guy that didn't have kids because, well, we didn't have kids yet either. But that cat was very mean and wanted to stay outside, so we had to give him to a guy who could accommodate that need for that cat. But it's hard to know if your cat's feral or not if you find them outside. These two cats snuggled and cuddled with me immediately, so that not feral. Maybe some of you can tell us what the difference really would be or what you can do about that. But we got lucky because these cats were very tame, very much adored and loved human beings. I think the difference is that these cats were always exposed to humans and probably other dogs too, especially Coho. He's very used to dogs. Mason wasn't so much, but he's warming up to the dogs now, as you guys can see if you watch our weekly vlog. As I enjoy my morning cup of coffee, I think about the complexities of pet parenthood, meaning pet adoption means you are their parent and their caretaker. You're not their owner. But what I'm thinking about after the ordeal of Mason Cat, right over here, not this guy, this is Coho, but this is Mason here, after he went missing. Look, he is looking better, by the way. But Coho went missing for a month, and now as I think and review about the ideas, I'm laughing because Mason's collar reflected in the sun and shined up on the ceiling, and now Rika girl is wanting to chase the dot, which is my fault. I've taught her to chase the laser light. It's a form of exercise in the winter. Anyway, I digress. And so I'm thinking about the complexities and about the experience of being a pet parent. And as I do that, I think about how Mason's gone missing has reminded me once again, just like the times when my pets get sick and even pass away, that we're not in it. I say we, and maybe I'm speaking for pet parents like you guys, and maybe I'm not. Let me know in the comments if I am wrong. But I'm thinking as a pet parent, we're taking on the responsibility to be going through the hard times too, the difficult circumstances. It would be selfish to think I get a pet just to make me happy. That's also unrealistic because they're not going to always make you happy. A lot of times they do, believe me. The hug from a dog or the purring of a cat sitting right on you is very rewarding, but that's not why I'm in it. I'm in it because these sweet little animals have a two-way relationship with me, and there's hard times too. There's times where they go missing. There's times like when Sadie passed away. And it's very painful, and it'd be very selfish of me to not want that. And I would much rather. Rika just tooted. She was standing up on me, and yeah, they humor me too. But there's bad times. Like with the laughter comes the stench, and it's kind of the reality with pets. With the good times comes the bad times. Comes the unpleasant times. Comes the times when they get into something and they rip your cheese open and spread it all over the floor, and then the dogs come along and eat it. Garlic cheese on the breath of Sadie was most unpleasant. And then, not to mention what comes out the other side later in the day. Anyway, too much information, but pet adoption comes with a great amount of responsibility. There are a lot of rewards, but if you go into pet adoption thinking it's all rewards, I think you would need to rethink that. I, as a young man, went into it with a cat thinking that a cat would be there for me to serve my every need. How little I knew I didn't grow up with cats. A cat serving my needs? No, I was his worthy servant. And I grew into that role as that cat patiently taught me that I exist for him. And it's a two-way relationship because the pets give back to you and they don't even know it. That's the amazing part. Can you imagine being a person who means something to someone else without even trying? I know that happens. I think that happens, especially as parents get older and adult children grow up. They appreciate that parent just like they did when they were little. And then there's that in-between period. I remember when I was in that teenage period where I thought parents were just in my way and were trying to contradict and question everything I did. And all they're doing is trying to make you a better person. And it's kind of like we do with pets. We train them. And they don't really understand. Maybe they don't like our rules. And they never come to realize that it's for their own health and benefit. But they trust us. That's the thing. Your pet trusts you so much. And it's your calling. It's my calling to be there for that pet. And yeah, there's going to be really hard times. So I guess when I think about hopes and prayers, this morning I was sitting here sipping coffee and thinking about how it was my expectation that I would get this perfect pet. Mason seemed like it, Sadie seemed like it, and Coho seems like it. Now the puppies seem like it. Our cat Coda, who is sitting downstairs because he's a lump on a couch. Yeah, even he's such a sweetheart. He welcomes visitors to our home, and he's very much a caretaker for the other pets. But I think about my expectation of them is to just be there for me. And that's such an unrealistic expectation because that's not how it works out. It might seem like it some of the time, especially when you first adopt a pet and you hug and snuggle and they snuggle into you to stay warm. They're just trying to stay warm and they want the affection. But it's in the giving of that affection and caretaking that the relationship and the better results come out. They're not there just for you. You're there for them too. And they depend on you. You have the financial resources, you have the food, you have the way to get transportation, to get them to their vet appointments. There's bills, there's lots of bills that come with pets, and the expenses for us are starting to really mount and grow. And we're dealing, we took that on. And a lot of people adopt pets and don't realize how much work they are, and then they give them away. And that breaks my heart because if they go to another good family, great, but a lot of times they go back to the shelter. And the older a pet gets, the harder it is to adopt it out, I would think. I don't know, I don't work for a shelter, but that's, I think, probably a reality. And so I really urge you not to even adopt a pet until you have the financial resources and the patience. Because they're going to poop on your floor, they're going to pee, they're going to have accidents. So do babies. You don't get rid of babies because they poop and pee and they're expensive. No. At least let's hope not. Yeah, I know a few babies end up on the doorstep of a hospital, but I think there's so much more to that. But then again, it isn't. People take on and cross lines of responsibility and end up with a circumstance that they could have avoided. And I don't want to sound, I'm not being preachy. I'm just saying that we all have options and choices, and we need to think about the impacts that we make on other people's and animals' lives. And they're not there to entertain you. They're not going to, and I think most of you know that already, but the bigger thing that I was thinking about today is the hopes and prayers that everything will go perfect, that the pet will always be healthy, the pet will always be home, will never run away or get lost or get sick, and that's not a reality either. But you know, you grow the most from adversity. You do. Your pet also grows more from adversity because they learn. I know that the puppies, when they were young, would run off into other yards and meet up with big dogs that are scary, and they come running back and they're afraid because that big dog was scary. Or they might get lost and then they get in trouble. But or like when Kira fell in the lake and it was still partially frozen, and that adversity teaches both the pet and teaches you how to be better, how to do a better job in life. And I guess I'm just contemplating the things that you guys already know, but it's amazing to me how the adversity, like Mason missing for a month, makes you really search your soul and grow. And I was prepared to lose Mason. I thought we had lost Mason. Now I'm a lot, even far more cautious with the door, although Mason is very sneaky. Cats. I mean, anyone who has a cat who is bound to get outside, you tell me if you can 100% guarantee that that cat's going to stay in the house. We've had other cats that are love to live outdoor, like Sammy. Sammy was our cat that we adopted at the age of 1. The military family that had Mason or had Sammy got deployed. Both of them got deployed, and so no longer could they have a cat. And so the cat came to live with us, Sammy, and he already was accustomed to being outside 50% of the time, approximately, or more. Summer nights, he'd be out all night long. But he'd come back and say hi, and he'd come back with fleas. It's part of the adversity I'm talking about. The rabbits in our neighborhood are just flea bitten, and they're putting these fleas in our yard. And occasionally our pets get the fleas. Sadie used to come in with fleas, and so we do flea checks every day. And it's pretty rare now. It hasn't happened. It hasn't happened for quite a while. Rika sees a squirrel. What's out there? So in summary, it's my experience that adopting a pet is taking on a responsibility and an opportunity to grow, even through the hard times. And when you lose them, eventually, and I don't mean loss like, oh, where did they go? But when they pass away, they get old and die, or something happens to them, or they get sick, you're taking a risk, and it's a known risk. In fact, I wouldn't even call it a risk. It comes with pet adoption. The sickness and the accidents and the messes that they make, the things that they get into. And occasionally things turn out pretty bad. You might get even bitten by a pet because of any of a million reasons. And that's a whole different topic of discussion. But there are times where a pet bites because they're in pain, or there's other reasons other than that they were raised wrong, or that they're mean, or that their genetics are a makeup that is such that it contributed to the aggression of that pet. That's pretty rare that it's the pet's fault, in my opinion. Pretty rare, but it could happen. And it's not so much a risk that it's not a risk that your pet's going to die. That's a reality. And you're also going to die. And your parents, hopefully not during your lifetime, would your kids pass away. There are no guarantees in life, and what I think the calling is to each of us is to be able to have the internal resources to deal with every blow that we're given. And those who get more blows in life are basically saying that it helps them grow and be even more resilient and be a better person. And I think some of the people with the most adversities in life that I know are far more tuned into themselves and the people and pets that they love. I know that Sadie's back issues and in her last years helped me grow to be even a more compassionate person and to be more understanding of pets having bad days and to be more patient. And I think that's what my hopes are in life, is to be a better person, to learn more about another creature or human being in your life. And parents and pet parents, both parents of kids and parents of pets, are going to have things that are letdowns, and they're going to have things that are scary and things that are challenging and things that shake your entire reality. And some people, when I flew AirMed, I saw some of the worst circumstances, and yet I saw people rising up to those worst circumstances and being the best that they can be. I know when there is a challenging circumstance and I feel compassion, I'm probably the best person I can be as I feel sympathy and empathy for that person or that pet and try to do everything in my resources for them. I think it's amazing. It's an amazing experience. And so don't go into pet adoption thinking they're going to do something for you, like be there to cuddle and snuggle. Yeah, they will, but they're also going to have times that are going to challenge you to be your very best. And you need to just take a deep breath and take in that experience and ask yourself how you can do better or how you can help that creature. And a lot of times it won't be your fault. So then you're going to ask yourself, how can I get through this situation? Like when Mason was missing. Every day I'd get up and I would not see the cats hanging out like they are right now. And it would really hurt. But it's not going to make me not want to adopt pets. In fact, it makes me want to adopt them more. We had a good outcome here. A lot of people are writing me stories where it was not such a good outcome. Most of the time the cats do come back, but sometimes something happens to them. They get sick or get hit by a car, or maybe on the better side, maybe they get taken and adopted by another family. And it's the challenges that come with pet adoption that help us grow. And even if it's a bad outcome, like losing Sadie to old age, that can be something that makes you feel very sad. But in the middle of that feeling, it's just completely filled with the knowledge of compassion and love. And that's an experience, people, that I can't describe. But if you've been there, you know what I mean. To feel that much love for another creature or another person in your life, even though you've lost them. Like when I lost a friend of mine, and we've all lost people in our lives. I think the pain is a celebration of how much you care for that person. And that's not bad. That's not bad at all. I'd rather feel that than feel boringness or I would rather feel the pain of caring for someone or something that much than I would just feeling content. The feeling of being content might be comfortable, but it sure isn't a life experience that's worth anything at all. It's nice to have contentment during parts of most of your days. It's nice to have just a period to just chill and relax and be content. But contentment is probably something I wouldn't wish upon anybody. I think being challenged, like when Mason was missing for a month, makes us grow fonder of that pet in our lives. And I'm not saying you should all lose your pets for a month to realize how much you love them and miss them. Not at all. What I'm saying is don't expect an easy ride when you have a pet. Don't expect things to be perfect. Don't expect things to go as well as you had hoped, because then you'd be just content. You'd be like, oh, hi Ralph the dog, or Mickey the cat. Hi, and pet him a little bit and then go to work. And we all, a lot of us are in the drill of get up, put every resource you have in getting ready to work, go to work, come home, and you're just spent, and you've made a lot of money to pay the rent and pay all the bills that are sitting there waiting for you, and you come out of it with nothing. You've just worked through the day, you just lived another day. And I think it's more important for me to choose to make less and live more. And I'm really, it's taken me a lifetime to get to that point. I've worked so hard to work 2 or 3 or more different jobs. And I think the experience of having people who we love and care about is wonderful, but it's the challenges that hit us that make us stop. Maybe we'll miss a day of work, or maybe even being sick ourselves, and going through something challenging with your health or with your pet's health makes you stop and really think about the qualities and the things in life that matter more to you. And it's not just working through the day. It's more important for us to learn how to get through the adversities. So don't hope for perfectness, hope for pervasiveness. Is that a word? Hope for resiliency within yourself. Hope and pray for peace and patience within yourself, and perseverance. Why do all the good words start with P? I don't know. Side thought. I want to hear your comments on your views in life. What makes you a better pet parent? What makes you a better parent of kids? We have 3 grown adult daughters who we are so very proud of. And the men in their lives, we admire and absolutely thank the Lord above for the life that they're all in. I think that they are in great relationships, and I think that we're very proud of our daughters. And now we have a granddaughter coming too in about 6 weeks from now or so. Who knows when a baby's going to be born. But we're looking forward to being grandparents for the very first time very soon. So again, and this is where I just sit and think about, we all want perfection, but really what we really need is perseverance and finding our innermost challenges and finding a way through those times. So thanks for watching Frosty Life. I want to hear your comments on life, and make sure you comment below. Tell us what you think. I know Kira's telling us what she thinks. They want to share a toy right now. Yeah, you're good girls, aren't you? And then there's Coho, who's really chill today. And then there's Rika, who likes to nibble on the cat a little bit. And then the cat gets to wrestle with the dog. Nothing's perfect. Yep. The love of dogs includes the slobber from them and the stink and the big sticky paws. All right, girls, leave the kitties alone. No. Come here. Go rest. Yeah, go rest. Yeah, right. They're puppies. But hope for the best, prepare for the worst, and in the middle of it, make sure you're living. That's my advice from Frosty Life. Thanks for watching.